Hello and welcome to Fin Business. We're in conversation with Kailash Mittal from HDFC Life. Kailash, welcome on the show.
Thanks, Amol.
I would like to understand, Kailash, how HDFC Life specifically crafting or how are you writing the insurance product these days? These days, I mean specifically into the digital age.
Fair enough. No, I think that's a valid question and that seems to be the flavor of the season as well. The way we are going about it is we are saying that let us focus on the needs of the customer.
Right.
Now, what we see of late in the last couple of years especially is that the customer is more and more comfortable purchasing online or taking financial decisions online. Whether it's from buying a commodity to buying a FMCG product to buying a white good to even buying a financial services offering.
Absolutely.
And insurance is no different. So if the customer is willing to go online and compare and choose, put one product against another, against a third and fourth, is the customer savvy enough? The answer is yes. For the customers who are not savvy, we have something called an assisted platform.
Right.
Wherein we have some of our employees or our distributors or our, last guys on the street and we enable them with digital stuff. We'll give them a tablet or a pad or a laptop. They'll go sit with the customer and say that, boss, this is how you go about it.
True.
So we have, as an organization, invested heavily on that front. At the same time, from a product offering, we are saying, can we make the products more and more crisper, more and more attuned to the fact that they are able to be sold online.
Right.
So limited set of propositions, do a target focused, attention spanning, don't have a pitch which is longer than say 5 seconds or 10 seconds.
So then are you like crafting policies for different sector of people, different part of the people? I mean,
Yes. So we are. So if you were to look at it, the insurance space, it can be really wide, right? You could cater to a 18-year-old who's wanting to save, say, $1,000 to a 60, 65-year-old who has probably a 50 lakh or a 60 lakh corpus who wants to buy an annuity. So that's the landscape, right?
Absolutely.
So what we end up doing is we end up doing focused products for each of these segments.
Right.
Now, whether that's in the online space or offline space, immaterial. But at the same time, we say, can I have a product proposition which is focused to each of these segments? And at the same time, we believe that we want to be leaders and we want to be innovative when it comes to that. So, for example, if I pick on our pension guaranteed plan, which is something that we launched close to 6-7 months back now, that's a plan that focuses on immediate annuity. Right. So, it says that you have a corpus, you want to start a pension, your pension starts immediately. So, that's a typical immediate annuity proposition. But where the interest rates are at the moment, you may want to say that I want to lock in the 8% levels today, but hang on, I don't want my income to start from tomorrow.
Right.
Probably the income should start 5 years or 10 years later. And that is what this deferred annuity plan brings to the table. Now, this was one of its kind that is present in the market today, wherein we say that as a customer, you have the flexibility to lock into the today's interest rate yields, but you can decide to choose to defer your first payout 10 years from now. So that is the innovation that we end up doing.
True.
This is something that we've done in the pension space.
True.
Similarly, if I look at the savings space, we have a product called Click to Invest, wherein it's a new age ULIP.
Right.
The customer pays 100, sees 100 in the fund value immediately, and very minimalistic charges. The returns are one of the best in the industry. So in terms of if you're earning 8%, the reduction in yield or the loss of fund management charges and plus that the person sees is really small.
Right.
And at the same time, we are saying that, look, this is a flagship product, right?
Yeah.
It's there in the online space. You go, you just click, you buy and you're set. So those are the innovations that we are doing, be it in terms of identifying a customer proposition, which is say in case of a pension guaranteed plan, or being in the online space wherein we are saying that, look, can I have a regular savings proposition out there, which is probably one of the best in class.
Okay.
And that is how we kind of segment, focus and innovate at the same time.
So how do you measure or what are the parameters that you use? Because the crowd for the online may be different from the offline.
Sure.
And you have to cater to the entire country.
Yeah.
So how do you actually measure that?
I think what you're trying to allude to is how do we maintain a balance between online and offline and we don't end up losing the online or losing
policy
up
for online is different from policy for offline?
I wouldn't say different. I would say the proposition is same.
Okay.
But the user interface, the seamless integration. So for example, it's an online portal. And if you are an HDFC Bank customer, it will be visible. The moment you click and you say, this is what I want to buy, the money gets deducted, your policy is on its way in an email format to you.
Okay.
So that's a straight through processing that we do when it comes to an online integration. When it comes to an offline, pure offline, I think gone are the days where people actually carried a proposal form and you filled it physically, right? So you'll fill it up on a tab, or someone will populate the details for you, and the proposal form is updated. You see it, you check it, you say I'm fine, you'll do a wet signature at the bottom of it, and your policy is issued. So somewhere I think there is a balance, but at the same time we do identify and we focus that okay, these policies are more easy to sell online compared to the offline proposition, because in an online environment you'll probably have a 10-second, 20-second time span before the person decides yes or no. In an offline, maybe you can have a more engaged discussion like you're having, and we could spend a minute or maybe 2 minutes trying to understand the product features.
So how is the sales distribution dynamics for HDFC Life? How many policies do you sell online? How many policies do you sell offline? How is it?
So here I would have a slight change in how I look at it. I would say that we sell not a very high proportion online, but we sell a reasonable proportion online.
Okay.
But at the same time, even the offline proposals that we collect are pretty much digitized.
Okay.
So I would say a close to 85-90% plus forms that I'm receiving today are in digital format.
Okay.
So even if it's coming from a tied agency or a typical bank assurance who's not an HDFC bank, or from a direct sales, it's not as if I'm getting a physical form.
Okay.
I'm getting it in the digital format. Now, whether you want to call that digital format as an online, or you want to call it, so if I were to club it and say that what is the queue in terms of what is it that I'm getting in a digital format and what is it that I'm getting in a non-digital format, the digital format would be an overwhelming majority of more than 2/3.
So apart from the company, apart from the typical industry, one different question, and that is my last question, is how the industry is actually dealing with the talent specifically into the actuary space, because I always keep listening from the CEOs and actuaries that there is a dearth of talent into this space. So how do you attract new people joining the industry?
See, I think it's a demand supply issue. If you ask me, that sits at the core of it. So is there a dearth of talent? The answer is yes. And there's a dearth of talent because somewhere the insurance sector is only opened up in the last 17-18 years. Right. So demand, be it for a pricing actuary, be it for a reporting actuary, has only come up in the last, say, less than 2 decades. As a consequence, are there more and more students out there? So there the demand supply is opposite.
Okay.
In terms of, so there is an oversupply for students and they are wanting to, learn these skills and move up the curve. In terms of how we attract talent as an industry, I think it's different thing works for different individuals. Absolutely. But at the same time, I think because we are at the cusp of always wanting to innovate, we are always at the forefront of wanting to try something different, be it from a product proposition, be it from a customer interaction, be it from the ability to sell. I think any insurance industry player, or be it life insurance, be it GI, I'm just talking enlarged, right? If they are able to be always on the cutting edge and have the ability to innovate, they will attract talent. There is no dearth of talent. It's just that there is a anomaly in terms of demand supply, but it is expected to settle out soon.
Great. It was wonderful chatting with you, Kailash. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks, Amol.
Thank you so much. Thank you.